Hello, if you've been taking melatonin every night and you're still waking up tired, this video is for you. Maybe it started with just one pill on a stressful night, a long flight, or a restless phase you thought would pass, but now it's a ritual. You pop the tablet, you wait, and slowly you begin to wonder if you're helping yourself or just hiding a deeper problem. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on what happens when you take melatonin every day. The things no one tells you. The quiet changes happening inside your brain, your body, and your trust in sleep itself. Because if you've been feeling like your sleep is getting worse, not better, you're not imagining it, and you're not alone. Tell me in the comments. Where are you watching this from right now, and how's your sleep been lately? And if you want to take back control of your nights, hit that subscribe button and stay with me till the end. Let's begin. You lie in bed with the lights off. Silence wraps around the room like a heavy blanket. And yet, your brain won't stop. Thoughts keep spinning. The day refuses to let go. You sigh, roll to your side, and reach for the bottle on your nightstand. You know, the one dot. It's small, easy to miss. But in your world, it's everything. That little bottle of melatonin, the thing that promises rest when nothing else does. You twist the cap with muscle memory, place one pill on your tongue. You don't even think about it anymore, it's just part of the routine. And for a while, it worked. The first time you took melatonin, maybe you felt something different. Maybe you fell asleep a little faster. Maybe you woke up feeling a little more refreshed, so you kept using it. Night after night, one pill, then two, then the extra version. Then, the one with lavender and L-theanine, and sleepy bears on the label. But lately, something feels off. You're still tired, still wired at night, still stuck in this strange limbo where you're doing everything right, and your sleep is still broken. You start wondering, is it stress? Is it my job? My screen time? What you're not wondering is whether the melatonin itself could be part of the problem. Because it seems so harmless, it's sold over the counter. It's called natural. It's even in kids' vitamins now, so you never stop to question it. But here's something most people don't know, something they should have told you before you made this a habit. Melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It doesn't knock you out. It doesn't induce deep sleep. It's not a magic off switch for your mind. It's a signal, a nudge, a whisper to your internal clock that says, hey, it's probably time to wind down now. But when you take that signal from outside your body, night after night, your brain listens. And then stops sending its own signal, because why would it? You've outsourced the job. And here's where it gets tricky. Melatonin doesn't build tolerance like traditional sleep medications, that you won't feel a withdrawal, but something deeper happens. Your circadian rhythm, the finely tuned biological rhythm that governs every part of your day, starts to get confused. It's like replacing a conductor in the middle of a symphony. The instruments still play, but they're no longer in sync. Your body starts relying on the pill to tell it when night begins. Your brain stops making enough melatonin on its own. And slowly, quietly, your natural sleep architecture begins to unravel. This is how it starts for millions of people. A simple habit, a quick fix, a seemingly safe choice that becomes a nightly dependency, and no one tells you. No one warns you that even something natural can become unnatural when it's used out of rhythm. No one explains that sleep is not just about chemistry, it's about timing, about consistency, about trust between your body and the night. So you keep going, you take the pill, you wait for the sleep that used to come naturally, and when it doesn't, you blame everything else, your phone, your diet, your job, your anxiety. But the truth is, quieter than all of that. The truth is, your body is waiting for a signal it no longer trusts, because you've given it a shortcut for too long, and now the road back to real natural sleep feels further away than ever. That's why this video exists. Not to scare you, not to shame you, but to tell the story no one's told you. The real story of what happens when you take melatonin every day. The side effects no one talks about. The psychology behind the ritual. the way it changes how your brain perceives sleep. Because if you've ever wondered why you still can't fall asleep, even with the pills, the teas, the white noise machines, the apps, maybe it's time to ask a different question. What if the thing you thought was helping is actually standing in the way? What if rest isn't something you can swallow? What if the most important thing you've lost is your rhythm? You don't really think of it as medication. It doesn't sit next to your prescriptions. It's not behind the counter. It's just there, tucked in a drawer. On your nightstand, maybe in the bathroom cabinet near your toothbrush. You've taken it so many times, you could do it with your eyes closed. In fact, most nights, you do because it's not just a supplement anymore, it's a ritual. One pill, one promise. One last hope before the night takes over. You didn't plan for it to be this way. You used to try other things, warm tea, cooler rooms, less screen time. You tried journaling, meditating, counting backwards from 100. You tried simply waiting for sleep, as if it would one day just return, but it didn't. You'd lie in bed, your body still and your mind buzzing. You'd watch the hours slip past, you'd wake up groggy, angry, already behind, and eventually you caved. Melatonin was supposed to be the gentle solution. It felt like the most reasonable option. No harsh chemicals. No sedatives. Just a little boost to help your body remember what it was supposed to do. That first night, you took it. You probably told yourself it was temporary. Just for tonight, just until your rhythm reset. Just until the stress at work died down. Just until you felt normal again. But just one night became 2. Then 4. Then 3 weeks, then months, and now you feel like you can't sleep without it. It's not even about the effect anymore, it's about the idea of it. The comfort of knowing you tried. The reassurance that you're doing what you can. The illusion of control, and, if you're being really honest, brutally honest, it's not even working that well anymore. You still struggle to fall asleep. Or, you wake up at 3 a.m., wide-eyed and wired. Or you get 8 hours of rest and still feel hollow in the morning, like your body slept. But your mind never really did. And yet, you keep taking it. Because the alternative feels worse. Because not taking it feels like admitting defeat. Because without it, you're not sure what else to try. This is where so many people find themselves standing in the space between exhaustion and desperation. You don't want to depend on anything. You want to sleep like you're used to. You want to lie down and just drift, but instead, every night feels like a negotiation, like your body is locked in a silent argument with itself. And melatonin has become the mediator. You're not alone in this. Millions of people are stuck in the exact same cycle. They lie in bed with the same questions. Why can't I sleep anymore? Why does nothing work? Am I broken? And the answers they get are always the same. Try this app, buy this pillow, load this playlist, take this pill, but none of them answer the real question. What happens to your brain when sleep stops being natural? What happens when the thing that's supposed to be automatic becomes something you have to chase? That's what this video is about. It's not about blaming melatonin or you. It's about understanding. Because sleep is not a transaction. It's not something you can force or fake. It's a biological rhythm, a trust that has to be rebuilt, and you can rebuild it. But first, you need to know what's really happening inside your body, inside your brain, inside this cycle that now feels like your entire life, because melatonin may not be the enemy, but it's also not the savior you thought it was. And once you understand that, once you see the full picture, everything starts to make sense. The mood swings, the morning fog, the irregular rhythms, the nights that feel more mechanical than restful. They're not your fault, they're part of a pattern you didn't know you were falling into, but once you see it, really see it, you can begin to climb out. This video is not just going to explain the science, it's going to give you clarity. Perspective, power, because sleep doesn't have to be a mystery anymore. It doesn't have to be the battle you dread every night. It can be something soft. Again, something natural, something yours. So, if you've ever stared at your ceiling wondering, what's wrong with you? If you've ever Googled, "Why can't I sleep, even with melatonin?" If you've ever felt like a stranger in your own body, stay with me, because this is not just about melatonin, it's about what your body is trying to tell you, and how you can finally start listening. Melatonin is one of those things that sounds like a miracle until you start asking questions. It's often labeled as a natural sleep aid, which feels safe, like chamomile tea or lavender oil. But melatonin isn't an herb or a scent, it's a hormone, a powerful one. And the version your body makes isn't quite the same as the one you're swallowing every night. Let's start from the beginning. Your brain has a small gland called the pineal gland, barely the size of a pea. When the sun sets and darkness falls, this little gland starts releasing melatonin into your bloodstream, all at once. Not like flipping a light switch, but gradually, subtly, rhythmically. It's not designed to make you sleep, it's designed to tell your body, night is here. It's time to begin the process. That means lowering your core body temperature, slowing your heart rate, shifting brainwave activity, preparing your body for rest, not forcing it into shutdown. That's why melatonin is often called the hormone of darkness. It reacts to light, or, more accurately, to the absence of it. When the sun rises, or your screen lights up at midnight, melatonin production shuts down. It's extremely sensitive, and it's not meant to be overridden. Now, here's the twist. The melatonin in supplements isn't coming from your body, it's synthetic. Sometimes it's even made from animal pineal glands in other countries with loose regulations. And while it mimics the natural version in structure, it doesn't behave quite the same in function, especially when you take it in pill form. In dosages that are often 10 to 20 times stronger than what your brain would ever release on its own. In most countries, melatonin is classified as a drug. But in places like the United States, it's sold over the counter as a dietary supplement. No prescription, no real oversight, no quality standard. That means the melatonin you buy at your local pharmacy might contain wildly inconsistent dosages. Some studies have found supplements that contain 83% less, or 478% more, than what the label says. Some are even contaminated with serotonin, which can affect your mood and interact with medications in dangerous ways. And yet, it's everywhere. You see it on the end caps of grocery stores. In gummy bear form for kids. With sleepy cartoon clouds on the bottle, you're told it's natural, it's gentle, it's the perfect fix. But that's the paradox. The very thing that's supposed to restore your sleep can quietly start to replace your sleep signals. And no one tells you that. No one explains that when you take melatonin every night, especially in high doses, you risk teaching your body not to make it anymore. Your brain says, "Oh, you've got this covered. I'll stop now." This isn't about addiction, not in the way you think of it. It's not about cravings or withdrawal, it's about confusion, biological confusion. Because your body has an internal clock, your circadian rhythm, that's finely tuned by light and dark, movement and rest, habit and repetition. Melatonin is a time cue, not a sleep switch. When you take it without syncing your environment, you throw that internal clock off balance. Your body gets the message, it's bedtime, but your surroundings are saying, we're still awake. So the system starts to glitch. You take melatonin at 9 p.m., but you're staring at your phone until 11. You sleep in on weekends, eat late at night, change your bedtime constantly. You expect a pill to override all of that, but sleep doesn't work. Like that, sleep isn't something you can hack with one input. It's the output of many inputs: light, behavior, temperature, thought patterns, emotional safety, and melatonin. It's just one note in a much larger song. Here's what science is starting to show us. Taking melatonin can be helpful in the short term. It's great for shifting time zones, recovering from jet lag, or gently resetting your rhythm after a temporary disruption. But nightly use, long-term dependence, that's a different story. Some research suggests that chronic use can blunt your body's ability to self-regulate. It can delay REM sleep, it can leave you groggy in the morning, it can cause hormonal imbalances, especially in younger people, when natural hormone rhythms are still developing. and yet we keep reaching for it. Why? Because we've been sold a lie, the lie that sleep is a mechanical failure to be fixed. That a broken night needs a product, not a pause, that if we don't sleep well, we're not trying hard enough. But the truth is deeper and more human. Most people who take melatonin every night aren't doing it for convenience. They're doing it because they're afraid of being tired again, afraid of being useless the next day, afraid of lying awake with nothing but their thoughts. Melatonin becomes a shield, a way to say, "At least I tried," and that's what makes it so powerful and so dangerous. Because when you don't understand what you're putting in your body, when you believe it's harmless, when you believe you are broken and this is your only fix, you start to lose touch with the one thing you're really searching for, trust in your body, trust in your rhythm, trust in your ability to sleep without help. This is why we need to talk about it, not to scare you, not to shame anyone, but to open the curtain on a system that's been working against you while pretending to help. Melatonin isn't evil, but it's misunderstood. And the first step to sleeping better might not be in a bottle, it might be in understanding the message your body's been trying to send all along. At first, it felt like it was working. You'd take melatonin, lie down, and feel your body soften just a little. Not a heavy sedative effect, not a dramatic crash into sleep, but something, a sensation of slowing, of letting go. It was subtle, but real. That's how the habit begins. You believe it's helping, and maybe it is in the beginning. But fast forward a few weeks, maybe a few months, and the story changes. Now you lie down and wait. You stare at the ceiling, you turn from side to side, and eventually you sleep, but it's not the same. You wake up groggy, your dreams are vague or missing. You feel like your brain never dipped into that deep, healing place, like your body rested, but your mind was just paused. You chalk it up to stress, to age, to caffeine, to anything else. Because melatonin isn't supposed to be the problem, right? But here's what no one tells you. Melatonin doesn't just signal your brain that it's night, it interacts with receptors, tiny switches inside your brain that help regulate when you feel alert and when you feel sleepy. These receptors, particularly MT1 and MT2, are sensitive, they're part of the circadian machinery, and when you hit them night after night with high doses of synthetic melatonin, they can become desensitized. Think of it like this. Imagine you're in a quiet room and someone whispers, "Time for bed." You hear them clearly the first night, and the second. But now imagine they start shouting that phrase every night through a megaphone. Eventually, you stop listening. That's what happens to your receptors. They get bombarded, they stop responding with the same clarity, and your brain, trying to adapt, dials down the sensitivity. It becomes numb to the signal. And now, you need more, or you stop responding at all. And the most dangerous part, you don't even notice it happening. Because sleep isn't binary. You either feel kind of rested or kind of tired. It's not obvious like pain or hunger. So you keep taking the melatonin. But the quality of your sleep quietly erodes. You lose deep sleep. Your REM cycles get fragmented. You wake up without the emotional reset that dreams usually provide. You start feeling duller, more reactive, more anxious, less creative. That's not just sleep loss, that's architecture damage. Your sleep has a structure, stages that rise and fall like waves. Light sleep, deep sleep, REM. Each plays a role, each has a purpose, and when those stages are disrupted, even if you're technically asleep, the consequences ripple into every part of your day. You feel more tired after a full night than you did before. You start craving naps, your memory slips. You lose patience faster. Little things trigger big reactions. You blame your schedule, your hormones, your phone, but deep down, your brain is waving a flag, something's off. And still, you take the pill. Because you don't know what else to do. Because not sleeping feels scarier than bad sleep. Because no one has told you there's another way. But here's what's truly tragic. And it needs to be said clearly, most people who use melatonin long-term don't even have a melatonin problem. Their bodies produce enough of it. The issue isn't production, it's timing, it's environment, it's light exposure at night, it's stress signals that confuse the brain into thinking it's still daytime, even in the dark. But instead of treating the cause, we reach for the shortcut, and the shortcut? It doesn't lead us home, it leads us deeper into the forest. You lose touch with your internal rhythm, you stop trusting your body, you outsource the process, and the more you do it, the more alien sleep begins to feel. There's another layer too. This, and it's subtle, but powerful. Melatonin affects not just sleep, but mood. It interacts with serotonin pathways, it influences how you feel the next day, and when your natural rhythms are disrupted. It's not just fatigue you feel, it's emotional static. You become irritable, flat, more anxious, but not sure. Why? Little joys don't hit the same way. You stop dreaming vividly, and you don't even realize you miss it until it's gone. That's not a life. That's survival mode, and here's the worst part. Every time you take the pill and it doesn't work, your brain panics more. You start associating bedtime with failure. You expect struggle. Your nervous system learns night equals danger, and that loop feeds itself. This isn't just biology anymore. It's psychology, it's conditioning. It's a nervous system locked in a pattern of fear. And a hormone being used as a crutch instead of a bridge. Because melatonin can be a bridge, it can help short-term. It can reset, recalibrate, reintroduce rhythm, but only if you treat it like what it is, a signal, not a solution. And the real solution. It's not in a bottle, it's in the room you sleep in. The light you dim, the habits you build, the consistency you protect, the trust you slowly, carefully rebuild with your own body. Because your body remembers how to sleep, you've just drowned out its voice, and maybe tonight, for the first time in a long time, it's ready to whisper again. It feels harmless. That's the most dangerous part. You never questioned the bottle. You questioned yourself. Your willpower, your routines, your stress levels, your phone use, but not the one thing you kept doing every single night. Not the thing you told yourself was natural, not the thing that became your last line of defense between chaos and sleep. But here's the truth, the real, unsettling truth. The problem isn't melatonin, it's what it's covering up. You didn't start taking it because your body was broken. You started because your life was misaligned. Because you live in a world that tells your brain it's daytime 24/7, because you stare at screens that mimic the sun, because your job keeps you stressed until 11 p.m., because your mind never winds down, and your nervous system thinks it's still running from something. Your sleep didn't vanish because your melatonin ran out. It vanished because your rhythm was shattered, and melatonin. It's like putting a blanket over a flashing red warning light and pretending the car's fine. It doesn't fix the engine, it just helps you ignore the sound. And over time, you forget what the warning even meant. That's the twist. No one talks about. You were never out of melatonin, you were out of stillness, you were out of light, discipline, you were out of predictable patterns, you were out of trust in your own body. But no one sells trust, no one profits from your rhythm. So you were sold a pill. And now here you are. Still tired, still wired, still wondering what's wrong with you, but nothing is wrong with you. What's broken isn't your ability to sleep, it's your relationship with rest, it's your expectations, your associations, the belief that sleep is a goal to achieve, rather than a response to safety. You've turned sleep into a task, and melatonin into a tool. But both are symptoms of something deeper. Your nervous system no longer feels safe to let go, because you lie down, and your brain says, "We're not done yet." You close your eyes, and your thoughts scream louder. You try to relax, but you're stuck in a loop that says, "What if I can't?" And that loop has nothing to do with hormone levels. That's the real villain here, the silent one, the one that never made it onto the label. Fear. Not dramatic, obvious fear, but subtle, persistent. Nightly fear, the fear of not sleeping. The fear of being tired, the fear of failing at something that should come naturally. Melatonin didn't create that fear, but it gave you something to hold on to, something to believe in, and that belief, that false safety is what makes it so seductive. Because as long as you're taking something, it feels like you're in control, but in reality, you're outsourcing control to a substance that was never meant to be used this way. You start to forget how to listen to your body. You stop learning how to soothe yourself naturally. You rely on something external for something deeply internal. Don't it works. Until it doesn't. Then you increase the dose, or add magnesium, or switch brands, or combine it with tea, meditation, or white noise. And all the while, your body is whispering. Used to know how to do this. You used to trust me. Why did you stop listening? That's the real shift, the one that matters. Because the turning point isn't when melatonin stops working. It's when you realize that you've been treating the symptoms, not the source. You've been fighting the darkness with a flashlight. Instead of letting your eyes adjust, you've been trying to outsmart nature, instead of realigning with it. And maybe, just maybe, that's why you still feel tired, not because you're broken, but because you've forgotten how to rest. Without help, so here it is, the aha moment, the plot twist, the uncomfortable but necessary truth. You don't need more melatonin. You need rhythm. You need light in the morning and darkness at night. You need consistency, not perfection. You need to tell your body the same story every evening, until it believes you again, because sleep isn't a performance, it's a pattern, it's a relationship, and it starts with trust. And trust doesn't come in a capsule, it comes in silence, in safety, in slowness, in the brave decision to feel tired, without fixing it, to feel restless without panicking, to let your body remember what it used to know, tonight. You don't need to do more, you need to undo the habit, undo the panic, undo the belief that rest comes from outside, because sleep isn't something you chase, it's something you return to, and your body even now is still waiting for you to come back. You don't have to quit cold turkey. This isn't a challenge, it's not a punishment. It's not about proving you're strong enough to sleep without help. It's about giving your body space to remember what it already knows, because sleep isn't gone. It's just buried under habits, fear, and noise. And tonight can be the first night you start uncovering it. So here's the shift. Instead of focusing on how to sleep, focus on how to signal sleep, because your body is always listening. You've just been sending mixed messages. Let's clean up the signal. The first and most important thing you can do, set a consistent sleep window. That doesn't mean you have to fall asleep at the exact same time every night, but it does mean sending your body the same invitation every evening. Lights dim around 9 p.m., screens off around 9:30, in bed around 10, every night, even if you're not tired, even if you don't fall asleep right away, because this isn't about results, it's about rhythm. Your body doesn't care what you hope happens, it responds to what you repeatedly do. And if you teach it that 10 p.m. is wind down time without distractions, without dopamine, without noise, it will learn, but only if you give it the chance to. Next, light. Light is the single most powerful tool in your sleep arsenal, and the one most people ignore. In the morning, get sunlight, real light outside. Light. Stand on your balcony, open a window, go for a 10-minute walk. Even cloudy light is better than indoor bulbs, because morning light anchors your circadian rhythm. It tells your body the day has started. And when your body knows when day begins, it can better predict when night should arrive. Then, at night, do the opposite. Make your house boring. Dim everything. Switch to warm, soft light. No overheads, no glowing screens, no blue-toned LEDs blasting in your face. Make your environment whisper, "We're done now." That whisper is more powerful than any pill. Now, let's talk about the actual melatonin. You don't have to stop completely, but taper. If you're taking 5 milligrams, drop to 3, then 1. Then try skipping every other night. And when you skip, don't panic. Instead, double down on the real sleep cues. Quiet darkness, stillness, a warm shower. Breathing slowly, reading something soft, lying in bed without checking if it's working. That's important, because if you lie there and wait for sleep to prove itself, you've already lost. Your brain is watching, waiting, anticipating failure. Instead, treat lying in bed like rest is enough, like just being horizontal in the dark is okay. That mindset alone can calm your nervous system more than you think. Here's another simple shift. Anchor your mornings. You're probably focusing all your energy on what to do before bed, but mornings are where rhythms are born. Wake up at the same time every day, even weekends. Get out of bed, move, expose yourself to light, drink water, start the day, even if you're tired, because waking up is what sets the stage for falling asleep 16 hours later. It's a full cycle process. And one more thing, maybe the most powerful. Don't fill your nights with productivity. You can't go from work mode to sleep mode, like flipping a switch. You need a buffer. A zone where nothing is required of you. Try this, after 8 p.m. No to-do lists, no emails, no productivity apps. Let yourself become boring. Let your brain feel useless. That's where sleep lives. And if the anxiety comes up, the fear of not sleeping, welcome it. Seriously, instead of fighting it, sit with it. Tell yourself, even if I don't sleep tonight, I'll survive. And mean it, because when your brain stops seeing sleeplessness as a threat, it stops triggering the alarm. That's the key. It's not just melatonin that needs weaning. It's the fear, the pressure, the belief that sleep has to happen now, or something terrible will follow. But what if nothing terrible happens? What if you lie in bed, feel restless, and nothing breaks? What if your body eventually sleeps because it finally realizes it's safe? That's the new story you're writing now. One where you don't need a pill to fall asleep. One where sleep isn't a task, or a reward, or a goal. It's a response to quiet, to trust, to rhythm, to the slow undoing of everything that kept you alert for too long. Tonight, you can start. Not by doing more, but by doing less, with intention. Dim the lights, breathe slowly, be still. Tell your brain, with every gentle signal, we're safe now. You can let go, and maybe you won't sleep perfectly the first night. That's okay. This isn't a race, it's a return. A return to something primal, something gentle, something yours. Sleep isn't something you conquer, it's something you surrender to, and surrender starts now. You don't remember the last time you fell asleep without wondering if you'd sleep. It used to just happen. When you were a child. When the day ended and your body understood what to do, without effort, without strategy, without melatonin. Back then, you didn't measure your rest. You didn't track your dreams or analyze your cycles. You didn't fear the night. You welcomed it, and somewhere along the way, that changed. You started seeing the night as a problem to solve. You stopped trusting your body's ability to rest without intervention. And sleep became a war you fought instead of a rhythm you followed. But what if it doesn't have to be this way? What if tonight is not about fixing your sleep, but about remembering how to relate to it? Not with panic, not with pressure, not with pills, but with softness. That's what sleep asks of you, not force, but faith, not perfection, but patience. Not control, but surrender. You don't need another quick fix. You don't need to research new supplements or count down the minutes on your sleep tracker. You need silence, darkness, slowness, and the quiet courage to say, I trust myself to rest. Again, because no pill can teach you that. No dosage can replace that feeling. The truth is, your body hasn't forgotten how to sleep. It's just waiting for you to stop interrupting, to stop rushing, to stop handing your peace to something outside of you. Tonight, try something radical. Lie down, breathe in, let go. Don't beg sleep to come, don't chase it. Just make space and let it arrive on its own. And if it takes time, that's okay. That time is part of the healing, part of the relearning, part of the message your body is sending. I want to trust you again. Because the most powerful sleep aid in the world is something no one can sell you. Safety. When your body feels safe, it sleeps. When your mind feels unthreatened, it lets go. And when you stop demanding results, you finally get them. So tonight, put the bottle away, not out of punishment, not out of shame, but out of self-respect. You're not broken, you're reawakening. One night at a time, one breath at a time, one soft return to rhythm. And somewhere in the stillness, beneath the noise and the habits and the fear, your sleep is waiting for you, not in the bottle, not in the ritual, but in you. You don't need to keep chasing sleep. You don't need to live in fear of the night. You don't need another bottle, another brand, another desperate solution. What you need is rhythm, a return to the version of yourself that once trusted rest. Without question, melatonin isn't the enemy, but it's not the answer either. Tonight, maybe for the first time in a long time, you get to choose something different, to slow down, to dim the noise, to believe, quietly, that your body still knows the way home. If this video helped you feel seen, leave a comment and tell me. Have you ever felt dependent on melatonin? And what has your experience been like? And if you want more videos that speak gently, deeply, and honestly about sleep, subscribe now. Your nights are sacred. Let's protect them together.